Hello, welcome to my channel, Level Headed with Levi D. Today we will be covering the SUMMERWELLS case. It is 363 days of thinking. A lot's been going on the last couple days in the YouTube world. Wanted to have a little discussion about them and what significance they are, if any, or not. And if people would like to join panel later, no problem. Definitely want to talk about some of the important things going on. And one being, I've changed some things up here on my channel. So I have mods. I have 3 mods. I have the commands will work for everybody still. I have 3 mods that will be here. And everybody else is just enjoy the show. The reason for doing this is that was the whole point of me doing Nightbot, was so I could limit the amount of mods that I have. And all the commands still work, and I will put those in my Discord. Hello, New Orleans lady. Hello, Kristen R. Hello, Bling. Hello, Yaya Sisterhood. Hello, Real Amanda. I see that there came out with an article this weekend about, or the news did, about covering, hey, JR 4306. I see that they came out with the new, like a new search area or whatever by volunteers and stuff. The one thing that, as them being PIs and stuff, I think that this isn't new. It's just they've been searching this whole time. It just wasn't made as like something out to the public. Also with the drone, I know that there's been drones that have been flying there for quite some time. And I just think that the media finally covered something on it. In the 363 days of this case, so many things have come out, so many things have been talked about, so many fingers have been pointed at different people. And I just, it's time to talk about some of them. Early on, there was a lot of hatred to the Wells family and pointed fingers at them and stuff. And that's what made them come to the YouTube world and to other social media platforms. And then we have a lot of other moving parts with neighbors speaking out, other researchers and stuff digging in on the case, digging in on criminal backgrounds. And as Sheriff Lawson always says, everyone's still a suspect. What that means is it could be anybody. They haven't ruled anybody out. Everybody's still a suspect, including witnesses, including neighbors, including people that visit that property. A lot of people, I guess, don't catch on to what everyone is a suspect. I mean, if you're visiting that area, you could be deemed as a suspect. Even if you know them, you could be deemed as a suspect. A lot of different things coming out. Some of the things that the reason why I put days of thinking is because I'm really curious. So when you own a property that's not the Wells property, but you're a neighbor and you own a piece of property there, I'm confused and would love for this to be answered by the person that used to live there. Is I get it, you split up and you leave, right? But do both of you leave? Do one of you leave? Why do you both suddenly leave and nobody's there? Or are you renting your property out to somebody else and that lives there now? Why is there permissions being given for people to be on your property? I think with an active investigation with everyone still a suspect, I wouldn't want to stay at that property. I wouldn't want to rent it out to me. There's a lot of things. Has that property been fully searched? Has the other properties around there been fully searched? All we can go by is what law enforcement says, but you'd have to go back to the early days in the videos to see if those were searched, if they weren't searched. And that has to come from law enforcement. The thing, I could have missed something, but I don't know if those properties were completely searched by law enforcement or if they just were searched by the homeowners. And that's really interesting to me because sometimes when you leave a property, when you walk away from it, you're still responsible because you own the property. So if you think that you leave the property, just I'm thinking here, this is my opinion. If you leave a property and you think that if something's ever found there and it was never searched or anything, that that you'd be free and clear. Well, that is the total opposite. And it's quite alarming that somebody would leave their property and just leave it behind because of an incident like this as well. They were talking about being an animal abduction in this new searches. And the one thing that is interesting to me is even so thinking as like a hunter or as somebody that's around wildlife or around animals growing up on a farm, there'd be even if somebody wandered off, there'd still be evidence someplace that there was an animal of some sort. So, with that being said, it's highly unlikely that that has happened because we would see some type of evidence, and they're pointing to the footprints or something on those lines as being the evidence of something. But I think you would see more than just footprints. There'd be a lot of different deciding factors in that. I also see that there's a lot of moving parts, and some of the people haven't spoken on social media, and that's their right to not speak on social media. I see a lot of different creators are doing different timelines and stuff and trying to fill in the gaps. Also, very, very interesting to me because some of them vary and are a little bit different. It just makes you want to ask questions and do some more research. I was watching a channel last night with a call-in channel, and there was something mentioned about a yellow can at the end of the driveway, and I'm really curious. I did not go back and look. I wanted to wait and see what they had to say before I went back and looked. I don't know what the significance of a yellow can would mean. I've never seen a yellow garbage can, but maybe it was a yellow barrel or something. I don't understand the significance of it. That was interesting to me on the call yesterday. The other thing is that some of those laws down in Tennessee got to change because one being the CPS there. A lot of this could have been prevented if the CPS laws were changed and taken care of and protecting the children. It's just really heartbreaking when you have all these different people that come out into different platforms and come out and bring new information and then knew that none of that would do anything to help or hurt the investigation. And in my opinion, it's been hurting the investigation and creates some chaos for law enforcement that's handling it. The one thing talked about over there on the panel was setting up a war room for Detective Pruitt and allowing him not to take any other cases, which he's gotten some other cases recently, and give his focus onto Summers' case of her missing. And I thought that was really interesting that they haven't done that yet. You would think that they would want to do that and get that all set up, but maybe they don't. Maybe they don't deem that it's necessary. Maybe they know more than what they're saying, and maybe they're just waiting for a couple last pieces to fall into place, which is interesting. And it goes a long ways to show that that definitely they're still working on stuff. The other thing I noticed when the expert was driving through around Ben Hill Road, that there are signs of surveillance cameras everywhere around there. I don't know if that means that was done afterwards because so many people drive there, but I find it very interesting when I go back and take a look at different things there. I I do some critical thinking and some research with some some small group of people, and they ask questions, and I try to the best of my abilities. Hello, bees knees. I try to check in convictions. Hello, Maggie B. Hello. Who else did I miss? Real Amanda. Hi. I think I caught everybody else. Yes. Um, I some of the times when there's questions asked or questions raised or what your opinion is on something and what put yourself in their shoes, figure out what what is going on and how why would this be said or why would they go there? Why would Don go to the bottom shed? Why would that be the first place he would go to? Well, obviously, in everybody's mind, that's a big significance to all of us. Uh, Interesting thing is I caught something someplace doing research and stuff, and that shed down at the bottom, it must have some type of a cellar or something because it looks like at one time with having a wood burning stove in there, that somebody at one time eventually had to have lived in there. You don't just I don't I haven't looked at the weather conditions there, but it would be enough. But I didn't see any running water pipes. I'd have to go back and look. But that was when there was a picture of a camper down on the bottom there too. So somebody was definitely hello, Dusty's Divine. Somebody was definitely there living there. It was really interesting that. Hold on one second. It was definitely interesting that there were some old Google images from Google Maps that if you backdate it, that you can see a camper down on the bottom. I don't know if it was ever. I heard his mother lived there before the house was built. Maybe I don't. I don't know. That would be interesting to understand those high carrying. It would be interesting to dig a little bit more deeper in there, but because of all the chaos and all the moving parts and pointing fingers at other people in that surrounded by the case, I don't think we'll get those answers. I think a lot of the answers will be unsaid and untold. There's definitely a driving of a narrative currently um, by some people, and it makes it harder to realize that. It makes it harder to realize that if uh, if in fact that everything that's being told is factual or not. I have no factual proof to just hear say, yeah. Well, that's the problem with this case. The facts that are coming out um, are by eyewitness accounts, but then when you create a YouTube channel when you're an eyewitness or you're I don't know if you can call it an eyewitness. I think we could call it. I don't think she eyewitness saw much, but you could call it a person, a neighbor. How much is factual? How much is not? If you watch, some of this stuff is said differently than before. And by no means am I attacking that person. Just as time moves on and you get heat from other creators and they're questioning you and stuff, and you're they're backing you into a corner. You fight and you figure out anything just to get them off your back, kind of, and it hurts everything because now we're hearing things that weren't said before and things that are contradicting other parts of the. I'm going to call it the YouTube investigation. Um, there is a real investigation, in my opinion, and a YouTube investigation. The YouTube investigation is kind of taking a toll on everybody out there. There's a lot of things being said, a lot of fighting. Um, This is 363 days of a little girl missing. And to be sitting here fighting back and forth over clicks, views, and money is kind of ridiculous. I've been watching a little bit, not too much, but when you're bringing stuff out that has no meaning to the case, but it has to do with certain documents to prove that somebody's lying or whatnot. Why don't you just be humble, verify it, and uh, figure out how to make your best judgment on it, because it's still not clarified as facts. And that's what's so hard in this case. What is facts and what is not? How do you determine what facts are? Well, just because you're doing research and you're vetting what you're doing, well, that's called vetting. I don't think you can call that well, some of it you can call it a fact if you go find the actual documentation. So I know that there were some videos put out recently that some of the stuff was read off of emails and stuff, but those things aren't facts. But it's still being said, and it still needs to be told to an audience of people that really care about her going missing, and so they can understand what some of the people are saying. Let's see here. I was just told to have an open mind, because I only listen or will put out facts, and I need to have a more open mind and hear others. Laugh out loud. No, sorry, I deal with facts. All the rest is hearsay, no say. No, definitely. And I try to, so a lot of the times when I'm doing a live, I try to make it so that is, in my opinion, but in a logical opinion, keeping to the facts as much as I can. So when I do like a missing person poster or whatever, I do research to make sure it's still active, make sure I'm not missing anything, see if there's new media clips out there, see if there's any information at all. And I can only go on the best vetting that I can when it comes to that. Facts are facts, though. So when you have a criminal background and there's criminal legal documents that you can have access to and get your hands on, those would be facts. The rest of this is on an eyewitness or on a neighbor viewpoint of what is going on. Sometimes you have to take and absorb that information and do a little vetting on it and figure out, is this really what's happening? Is this not what's happening? How can we go back and clarify what was said before? But that's probably not facts either. I did this little thinking session here to put people together, to put their heads together. And they came out with the new searches and stuff. And I'd be interested to see if they're searching. So they were saying that they're searching properties and drone footage of where footprints were actually found. And I still don't know, because I don't understand this, but Ellie has not said anything about the footprints as much to my knowledge. I could have missed something, but I'm pretty sure that law enforcement has not said anything about footprints being out there. So if those are true and the law enforcement has those, that would make sense as a factual thing. But as of right now, that's still hearsay. Has not been said, to my knowledge, that law enforcement clarified that there were real actual footprints. I'm not saying that they aren't there, but it's very interesting that they're searching in that actual area, though, which makes me seem to believe that there was more said or more things were done than what we are seeing here in the public. What else we got here? Screenshots, unless the whole comment both ways is read. Who knows? I do not believe he said, she said, screenshots, etc. documents, facts, or from the law. Yeah. So when I say vetting, if a news media comes out, so I learned in the Riker Webb case that the biggest thing is a lot of news stations will put out information from law enforcement. So they contact law enforcement and try to get as many facts as possible so that they're putting out good information. So when there's an actual news station, they do vet their information. Hello, Ann. And do their best to put that information out. And I learned that well in Riker's case. I like to discuss theories, etc., but I'm not getting on YouTube with an ongoing case and do what two may have done. Yeah, I just think that the viewers here, the different people here, understand that that you have to decipher through. It's important for me to put out there. You have to decipher through what is facts, and facts. I mean, it's been 363 days of, I don't know, maybe 30,000 people watch the stuff every day. Maybe only 15,000 people watch everything every day, and one or the other. Hey, Purple, one or the other. But it just makes sense that people out there that understand and say, hey, this YouTuber said this. Yeah, it's good to grab all that information and keep it so that you see, hey, this neighbor said this, or hey, this local said this. This person asked questions to Don and Candace. This person asked questions to Jose. All that information is important. It's all to create something that you can go back on to say this person. There's three things to everybody that speaks. So you have the truth. So you have what they say. You have what you know, and then you have the truth. So trying to say that, hey, this is what this person, yeah, that's a fact. This person said that, but that's only a fact of that. Is that really what happened? Well, that has to be verified and vetted by somebody or something in order to be called anything. Hello, Jane. That has to be held as this person said this, and then unless if it's vetted or proven by law enforcement or an actual documentation, it's a fact they said it, but it's not a fact that it's fact. I can listen to the whole city from my town and not find one bit of truth. I see no credible anything, but I just see the law knows the truth, and your truth and their truth. Yeah, that's like the hardest thing when everybody is digging into a case and stuff. It's nice to have different people that were surrounded by her to get to know who Little Miss Summer was and to understand those things. But you have to understand that you need to fact check some of the stuff and see how reliable it is. And then the other side of the thing is you put out information without doing that or whatever, and it becomes more hearsay. I'm not saying that it's not important. It just makes it harder to prove. Does it make sense that that if three people say it, does that still mean that it's truth or that it's facts? I don't necessarily agree with that. Just because three people have the same story doesn't mean that it's facts, or doesn't mean that this has to be true, because now we have three people that are verifying and saying the same statement. It makes it a lot harder to understand what's going on and to think about exactly what people put out there. I know that the drone that's been flying there, I know early on when Equisearch went down there, and there's this young guy that I forget the other name of the company that came with the drones, but they've been flying drones there for some time and scanning the area and figuring things out. But it's very interesting that the drone that they're using can do very, very good things, and they can capture screenshots and run through a software. Hello, Arctic Fox. Tat Jack 1, hello. Figuring out like the different imagery and stuff. At least when you can't search, like because of the thickness of the area, is that it's a like very thick with trees and bushes and weeds and grass and stuff, brush. It makes it real important that a drone is used, because you can tell a lot of things from some of these new drones that are pretty expensive drones, but it helps to rule out some stuff. I was watching back a while ago when they first did it on duty runs. They actually showed some of the imagery on there. You could see deer in the middle of the field, and you could see the infrared where their heart was and stuff. So very interesting to see the different temperatures of the actual ground as well. Uh, I didn't know that drones could do that, except for when that came out on there. Um, I do know that today is 363rd day. There is a vigil going on down there, and I pride the ones that are going, and the other ones that aren't going, that have channels and stuff. It's nice to be able to, even though I can't go, can't experience it for myself. It'll be nice to be able to see it onto a live stream, and be able to get what they're doing there, and to see how they're going to conduct themselves while they're there, and how the media and stuff is going to respond to it. I mean, it will be the 365th day on Wednesday, and I know there's a lot of people traveling these next couple days, and which is important that we all check in on the ones that we know that are going, if you're friends with them, and make sure everything's okay. Going into a place that you don't really know, or going into a place that is just different to you. Yes, I agree. They may have had a tip. Foya is and has been great. Has been a great friend. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it would be interesting to see the actual tips that came in, and then the actual work and those binders that the actual police have of all and everything that's been checked out and stuff. That would be interesting to see someday. I don't know if a FOIA will ever be able to be done on the whole thing, but that would be a very cool and interesting um, documentary that somebody could do, and I would be interested in watching it. Um, I guess the biggest thing is that with suspects, everyone's still a suspect, so which makes it a little scary that they don't get into a lot more of pinpointing down things. I'm sure that law enforcement is working hard. Yes, checking convictions, reading reports are great reads. Yeah, well, it tells you a lot when you can get your hands onto a report and actually read what they're documenting, because that's like when they put their signature on that document. That's what makes it into. I mean, there's still reports, but you're still reporting on what somebody is saying in some of them, but there's actual signatures by officers and stuff, which makes it more a factual statement, and can be used in court and stuff. Um, I was curious. I haven't been watching that Dobbs guy, but I see that he did put out a couple more songs, and I don't know if they have any meanings or anything. I didn't really look into it too much. I think he just was a man that was in the wrong place at the wrong time and got caught up into all of this, as well as H as well. Got caught up in the wrong day, wrong time, and everything, and things get looked in too much. I mean, that could be wrong, but I just think that things just aren't lining up as well. At night might sure be all nicey nice today. I haven't forgotten the way you behaved on Saturday night. Oh, funny. Um, what else we got here? I believe they are, and I am a firm believer that they keep a good investigation tight and quiet. I have seen many, in my opinion, that is what they do, and they have all the data and records. Yeah, that's the one thing. So I was on this other channel watching yesterday, and there was a question by a viewer. They had to have been a newer viewer, or I mean, I start to forget some of the things in this case because so much new info comes out, and I just it's hard to keep what's been said out there. Like I know there's people that have it that this was said back now you're saying this, and it just makes it hard because that goes back to like a YouTube case where it's the people on YouTube are making it a case. So I don't know. I haven't looked into this, but one of my biggest things is are they allowed to pull in footage from YouTube on this case? When it comes down to it, both parents were on the internet, neighbors were on the internet, other people surrounded by the case were on the internet, other locals are in chats and stuff. So are they able to grab from YouTube and put that into their files as well? I don't know. I just something that I think about, and I thought about this early on too. I said to myself, I was thinking, I'm like, wow, you have all these people in all different directions and stuff coming onto YouTube, and is it makes sense to that it'll be used at some point, or is it all just hearsay because of the pranks and stuff? I don't know. Hey, Volstorm, um, I just don't know if that can be brought in or if it is too much of a mess that it wouldn't be brought in. Yes, hard to know. So I stopped listening. I know the facts and I have my theory. Yeah, that's what a lot of people do. Um, I just like to think about the case and do so when I'm not doing other things. And today was one heck of a day. I've been on the phone all day with certain different people and trying to get some stuff straightened out that I personally needed to take off of my plate and hand over to people that are better resourced with info that I've been given. And I got that taken care of today so I can go back to doing what I do best and showing some missing people. So I wanted to touch on this a little bit as the 365th day is coming soon. And I know that a lot of people are just wanting her found, and it's important to a lot of us. I've invested a lot of time into this SUMMERWELLS disappearance, and I just want some answers, want some truths to come out, and if somebody knows something, they need to speak up. I mean, even the smallest thing could change the whole projection of what's going on, and a lot of people don't understand that and keep quiet. So that's the best thing we could do. I think it would be foolish not to collect all the information. You never know what you might come across. Yeah, well, I'm finding out that little bits and pieces are being dropped by certain creators, and they some of the stuff like I, do you turn it in? Do you not turn it in? When is it okay not to? When is it? We don't want to bog down the police department with all this info, but at the same time, they're the ones that are trained, not us. So like we could do our best to do our research and get the most information, but they're trained professionals in what they do, and they can take the information and vet it and figure out the correct way on if this is accurate, if it's not, or maybe this ties another piece to another lead that they got, which is very important in a case like this. So um, I know I got a decent amount of people that like to sit in the back and watch and listen and then message me later or contact me through email and stuff. But it just goes to show that I there's people in here and they don't like to comment and stuff, which is fine. And then they do some. They know that I like to think about things and give my 2 cents behind the scenes on certain things, what's happening. I want her to be found safe, but the percentage of that are slim. But there are those cases, so not impossible. Yeah. So with watching things recently and the reactions and the way that other people have been speaking about it, there is a very good possibility that she's out there someplace, and it's pinpointing that down and figuring out what that is. But you wish I didn't like to comment. I am all in it. Yeah, no, you bring up good valid points, and that's those are good things to touch on. The I want to praise Volstorm and the expert for driving. I know the expert has put some new stuff. Has taken some of the clips and trimmed them down and showed some other stuff in the surrounding areas, which is important so you can understand what how the actual life is there when you've never been there. Yeah, that is interesting. And um, yeah, I just think the the games people play and the bashing of parents of missing people and twisting their words and stuff needs to stop, because it just adds gasoline to the fire of their life that they already are in. It makes it way harder for them to make the right choices, and a lot of times when they know that they're saying bad things about them, that it's like they think that all of us are playing games here in the YouTube streets. And so what do they do back is they start playing games, and that's what's happened here in this case. People were attacking them, and they were taking it as people were playing with them. So then they turn around and they start playing pranks on the people. Well, that just makes it way harder for everybody else. Some of the things that people say, and makes it harder on the investigators as well. And someday, if there's ever a court case on this, it's going to make that very difficult as well too. Um, I still see there's somebody that switched their name to Seven Alibis, which Don came out with Seven Alibis, which I'm interested. At some point, hopefully, he'll tell us all what his Seven Alibis meant. Um, I guess he's seven suspects and seven alibis. Maybe that's what he meant. Or maybe he really meant he was around seven people that day. I don't know. The other thing is the truth is hidden behind the lies. So there's a trail of truth in every lie that's being told. It's deciphering it and bringing it to life as whether this is what they meant. And that's what's making this case so difficult and to helping bring Summer home. I just want to address something. I don't know if you guys are still here. I did switch my. I made Nightbot so that Nightbot can run the stream with links. It can run the stream with good information. I do have 3 people that help me. Those 3 people that help me on my other platforms and help me on this platform with running things and help with behind the scenes stuff. And I was trying to figure out a way to not have so many wrenches. And it's nothing personal against anybody that I took a wrench away. I just want you guys to enjoy. And there'll be 3 people that will be monitoring my chat room, just so you guys all know. And I know I didn't say anything before this live. I had determined that a couple days ago, that when I started Nightbot, I knew exactly what I was going to do. 7 alibis would be interesting to know what and who they are. Yeah, because you don't just come out and say 7 alibis. And And that just leaves our imagination to run and make up stuff and try to figure out and pinpoint what are your 7 alibis. You're talking about 7 workers. You're talking about 2 workers. Are you talking about the boys, Candace and Grandma Candy? Are you talking about neighbors? Are you talking about were you at home? Were you talking about? I don't understand. I want to know what 7 alibis are, and hopefully that same statement was told to authorities in the early on when he was questioned about where he was and all that stuff. I wonder if 7 alibis came up then too. I don't know. Do I think we will ever know? At this point in time, with 363 days going by, um, I just don't know if that will ever be brought up. There's so much information and so much stuff out there that I just don't know if it definitely will be brought out at all. I know that they've said that there's binders and binders of information and stuff, but that's a lot of stuff for one to um, cover and go over when something happens. Um, at Maggie B, 3 boys work Starlink phone and question mark. I can't recall last one stated in my opinion only. Yeah, that's a good guess. I don't know if we'll probably never figure out what 7 alibis meant. Was it his 7 alibis? Was that his 7 suspects? Was that his 7 things that went wrong? Why 7? Uh, I don't know. I think his 7 alibis are the whiskey talk, and he pulled out. He pulled a number out of the blue, in my opinion. Yeah, that very well could be as well too. Um, I don't know why you need 7 alibis, but um, the other thing is that I've early on there is a clip out there someplace, but early on there was mentioned that there was cameras, and then there was mention that they weren't working that day. There was mention that they now all of a sudden there's SD cards to them. Um, I don't know what's factual, what's not. I'd imagine if they had SD cards or that the cameras were working, all that stuff is being ciphered through investigators. I hope so. Um, but as we could tell, there was a dumping of a phone that media manager had that I don't know. I just don't agree with some of the things that were done by individuals surrounding them to take like a cell phone, for example, and take it and download everything to your computer to back it up. Why would you do it to your computer and not to their actual computer? Why would you? Why would you take, like, for example, if my buddy went to jail or whatever, and on that day, and his phone was in my car, I'm not going to go grab it and download everything onto my computer. But if they like, you give it to family and let them download it to a computer. Um, you see, that stuff doesn't make sense to me, and I don't know what the logic is behind it, but it definitely raises a red flag for me there. Um, but that can be looked into by actual investigators that would actually see it, like the warrant sheet with what they took out of the house. You never want that out. Well, definitely, and I don't understand. So that's why I say you have a YouTube case here, and then you have an actual missing person case. And the YouTube case is digging so deeply into the thing that it's I call it obstructing of the actual case, which it's leading people places that they shouldn't be going into, and it can be very dangerous at times. We don't know people that are surrounded by this case. We don't know who's watching, who's listening, who's doing any of that, who's monitoring what's going on here. It makes it for an unsafe place for some people, and I know that some people have been affected by it and others haven't. Um, oh yeah, we got some good thumbs up today, huh? What else? If anybody has questions, please put them in chat. I will drop the link if anybody wants to come up and discuss anything or speak on anything. You are free to do so. All I ask is that you show your face up here. 363 days is a lot of time invested into one case, and I just thought it was necessary to go over some of the things that I've seen recently. I do find it very very nice that the PIs are searching, that there is still a drone there, and that I hope that they continue to search every day, and it just wasn't a one day thing. That would be really nice to know as a listener in this community here. I also just think that there's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of different creators covering one case that at least at some point, when whether it's in the beginning or in the end of the live, it would be nice if you covered somebody new that goes missing, because I was doing some research on missing people in America, and it's like 500,000 or more people go missing a year. That is so many people that even when they go missing, just getting their name and information out there, because maybe other people don't have the means to do it. There's just a lot of time and energy spent onto interesting. It's a lot of time to spend on some cases. This is interesting. Checking convictions, laugh out loud. I think you're saying 5 years for me in one, 3 on another, and 2 on another for the last 5 years. That's very, very interesting. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow when I speak to you tomorrow behind the scenes. And that is a good point to bring up. And some of them don't ever get found, and they continue to keep going. Let's see here. This case has totally broken my heart and has made me aware of so much. I just want Summer to be found. Yeah, Tat Jack one, definitely. I think we all do. I think that there is a lot of misinformation, a lot of he said, she said, this person said, that person said, that. Like sometimes I watch and I just have to turn it off, because the relevancy of what does this have to do anything with it. But then at the same point, that's going through my head. But then at the same point, well, maybe there's one piece in this thing that's going to change everything, and it'll connect the dots to something. Those are the unknowns that we don't know. Hi, Audrey B. Thank you for coming in. I am glad to hear PIs are searching too. I thought one of them said in the recent WJHL interview they are searching once a month. That may be true, but I think they're hopefully, like, even if it's on the weekends, because I do know that there's been a lot of drone flying there, And that's very important. And expanded search areas would be nice. I just don't know what the drone that they're using, how I think that is probably the best version of searching. And then when you find something that you zoom in on it with actual humans and see what happens. Um, one by me will be 34 years missing on the 18th. Wow. Wow, Maggie. It's a long time. And I I just hope that those kind people that are donating their time volunteering it will continue to. The answers have to be out there someplace. Hello, Brandy. How are you? Um, she wore hearing aids, so those could possibly be located. Um, this is just a long, windy, curvy road that goes in so many different directions that where do you start when let's say that you're just coming in and finding out about Summer's case and now you want to go back and see all these other videos, like how many of them with Summer's name in it are speaking about Summer, how many aren't, how many times you're going to be wasting on creators fighting back and forth or misinformation that was put out there and you can't get what you want as far as what you're trying to figure out with the case. And yeah, you're gonna have to. I see some new names out there of people. Um, and I just think that it's interesting that uh, people that are new that are coming in, I don't know if they understand exactly what's going on or not. Um, it disheartens me to see some of the stuff that's being done to drive it away from some of the focus on actually finding her, uh, which is interesting. The hearing aids were worn by a local missing by me for 34 years. So the hearing aids, when they went missing, they had the hearing aids in, and that was 34 years ago. If that's the case, those probably can't be tracked. The newer versions probably can be. I'm not new. I've been here since 6/16/21. Tiny Dancer. Nice. Well, I also noticed that some of the people that were around early on that usually comment, there's a big, huge group of people that like to sit back and watch as opposed to commenting or chatting in chats because they're watching to see what's going on and the attacks and different things into chat rooms. It makes everything a little bit difficult, and it's really mind blowing at some of the things that are said and put out there. I know, Tiny, we still like to say hello and welcome. Oh yeah, definitely. There is a lot of new names out there. Tiny, I haven't gone live in a long time, so when I say new people, there's a lot of old faces that come in that may have been here since day one. I do watch a lot of chats, but I've noticed that a lot in a lot of different rooms, and not all of them chat in one specific one specific room, and then some don't even chat at all and have been here since the beginning and just watch everything, which is which I respect as well. Sorry, I had to take a drink. I've seen you around for a few years. That is to tone a tiny answer. Yeah. I am fine with not being part of the circle that has happened to poor Summer. I pray she will be home and justice will be served. Hopefully one day, checking. Hopefully one day and hopefully soon. Um, I hope there's some good leads that are out there that investigators are working on. I hope that if somebody knows something, that they actually step up and speak. I hope that every missing person out there, one way or another, is found and returned home. There's been a lot of them lately. There's been a lot less. There's been a lot less people that have a lot less people that have like Amber Alerts, and I was talking to some people about that, and I think, like, I haven't gotten an Amber Alert, and there's been some missing people where they do Amber Alerts here in Illinois, and I'm gonna call my plan and see why that is. I don't understand why I don't get the alerts. I used to get them all the time. Maybe it's a feature on my phone that's not turned on. Yes, I know Brandy's not blue. I have the mods that are in here have access to check to make sure that it's her every time that she comes in, and I am keeping it that way because people are talking about having wrenches and her modding for people on YouTube. So in order to keep it fair for everyone, I have unmodded everybody but 3 people. And those 3 people are the people that help me behind the scenes with social media, with this platform, with Nightbot, with Facebook, with TikTok, with Twitter, with all of those different links. And if you guys are on those different platforms, then I would definitely go take a look at some of them. I do have some of them set up. I did do a couple of videos that I chose not to release today because I need to look at a couple things on them. And that will be either released later this evening or tomorrow on some missing people. And they'll be on some other platforms as well. What else we got here? Arctic. Yeah, they are terrible about getting the alerts out of my area. I'm just wondering if it's like if it's a federal, I don't know how the alerts work, and I want to work on seeing how the actual Amber Alerts work. I just want to. I think it'd be important to see how they're supposed to work, and then if they're not working in your local area and they're supposed to be working in the local area, it'd be interesting to see the difference in between them. Because if that was done here, I know I was watching. I think it was Ryan Upchurch and the SUMMERWELLS stuff, and this was early on, and we were talking about in different rooms and stuff that some people there got Amber Alerts and some didn't, and why some got Amber Alerts over others in the state. And it's just an interesting little thing of even Amber Alerts are very important. And the thing is that the more people that it goes across, I mean, it is 500. Let's say 500,000 people go missing every day. Let's say that 2,000 go missing in your state, or 10,000, however many it is. 50,000 go missing in each state. It'd probably be. Is that too many messages to put out in one state? Maybe. And then what are the criterias of what classifies it as that in my state, and what classifies it in other states, and where we can fix and help to bring those more aware. Because at some point, some of that information with the alert systems would definitely help, especially in something like this case. Maybe if it brought in a broadened Amber Alert, maybe that would have helped a whole bunch of things. I don't know. I don't have the answers. I know Darkness has a Ring doorbell, and she gets those with the quickness. Uh, yeah, I got cameras on my property, and my phone actually talks to me and tells me what camera goes off and what the actual object is, and sends me a video with, like, it's real time. And when I'm live, I actually turn off my sound on my phone, but it just makes it a lot easier. Let's see here what else we got. Sometimes I don't get the Amber Alerts either. Let's see here. It lasted a half hour. Done. That was a blessing. I know Darkness has. Oh, I read that one already. What else we got here? I only see Bling Trixie. I just seen you. Hello. Oh, saying hi to Frosty. A man's remains were found over by me this morning, and LE asked people to check on who they haven't seen in a few days. See, that's another thing. And then that brings up a good point. So they asked people to check on people they haven't seen in a few days, but at what point do you know that X amount of people in this geographical area? How do we know that these many people actually got that notification? I mean, how many people sit here and watch the news, and what happens if it's not published on news? Those all play a big, huge part and stuff. In my part of Tennessee, we rarely get an alert unless it's from Memphis, Nashville, or East Tennessee. Yeah, I found that to be very interesting, because I do agree with you on the things that I've seen and the stuff that people have said. That is definitely true. On iPhone, under notifications at very bottom of page, turn in Amber Alerts and emergency alerts. Turn on. I get them from all over Tennessee. See, so there's definitely that's interesting. Sorry, there was a lawnmower outside. What else? Really tiny answer. I think every state needs to check their Amber Alert systems and make sure they know when to use and all. Well, here's my other thing with the Amber Alert systems. How do they know? How do they know that the Amber Alerts are actually getting to the actual people? Just because they hit so many people in that state, like here every first Tuesday, I live in the country, but down the street from me is a tornado siren. Every Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the month, at I think it's like 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning, it goes off. They test it. How often do they test Amber Alerts? How often do they test to make sure that system's working? They just reported a local, so he could be from anywhere. Yeah. But I'm in a bigger area. While that could be true too, the more the population is, the more you're going to get the alerts. We'll wrap this up in closing here. That the thing about the SUMMERWELLS case is there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of hearsay. There's a lot of moving parts and moving pieces. And the biggest thing of them all is, if you know something, say something. If you see something, report it and say something. Thank you, mods. Thank you for subscribers. Thank you for being kind in my chat. And thank you for tuning in.